You know the instructions. We've all heard them. That simple, rhythmic blueprint for a good life, handed down from generation to generation. Step 1, work hard.
Step 2, get a degree.
Step 3, buy a house. Just follow the steps, check off the milestones, and the American dream is completely yours.
But for millions of young people trying to navigate the modern economy, it was all a lie. The blueprint is fundamentally broken. The math, it just doesn't work anymore. And the psychological toll of waking up to this realization is absolutely devastating.
Just listen to the collective grief echoing across the internet right now. One 24-year-old recently wrote, "I had so many dreams as a kid, and now I see it will be impossible to achieve them. I'm 24 and feeling depressed about just life in general." Look, this isn't just one person having a bad day. This is the profound, heavy sound of an entire generation mourning the death of the future they were promised.
Because, for the first time in modern American history, an entire generation is beginning to lose faith in what's coming. Today, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the cold economic data and the psychological research to map out exactly why Generation Z feels utterly, overwhelmingly hopeless.
Section 1. The Promise. What young people were told life would become.
There really is a really stark contrast between eras. For the baby boomer generation, roughly between 1945 and 1970, a Keynesian economic model provided a framework of incredible stability. College was actually affordable. A single income could often support an entire family. And housing, it functioned as a reliable ladder for upward mobility. But consider the modern era Gen Z inherited. Those systemic protections are completely gone. They've been replaced by a precarious gig economy, an average of $40,000 in student debt, and a housing market that no longer acts as a ladder but as a rigid gatekeeper.
And the data perfectly captures how the goalposts have moved. While median wages essentially stagnated over the last few decades, the median size of a new American home grew by over 50%. The expectations of the American dream just kept expanding. It demanded more space, more consumption, and it trapped younger generations in this endless cycle of trying to stretch for an impossible, inflated lifestyle.
Which brings us to Section 2, reality, the total collapse of affordability and stability.
$1.83 trillion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the current weight of U.S. student loan debt. What was promised as a gateway to prosperity has transformed into an absolute financial ball and chain. Young adults are entering the workforce with record levels of debt during a period of high interest rates, which immediately cripples their ability to consume or save.
When we methodically break down the clinical statistics, a stark, unyielding mathematical reality emerges. Back in 1985, the median sales price of a U.S. house was roughly 3.5 times the median household income. By 2025, it's 5 times, and in many coastal cities, it's 10 to 12 times the median income. The median homebuyer age has skyrocketed from 29 to 40, and compounding this massive scarcity, 54% of boomers are choosing to age in place. They're refusing to sell, which effectively locks up the housing inventory. Upward mobility has basically been locked out.
And the fallout from this economic reality is suffocating. I mean, consider how this debt acts as a systemic filter on human life. 71% are delaying major life events. 51% are postponing buying a home. 28% are putting off buying a car. 21% are delaying starting a business. They aren't living, they are just surviving in an anxious, paralyzing holding pattern.
And that leads right into Section 3, burnout, the deeply psychological consequences of living in survival mode.
I want to introduce you to a dark but totally fascinating concept from philosopher Byung-Chul Han called the Burnout Society. He argues that we've shifted into an achievement society. Gen Z are now achievement subjects. They're driven by this intense cultural imperative to be always on, highly productive, constantly self-improving. But under this illusion of freedom, they are actually driving their own exploitation, and the result is profound, self-inflicted neuronal violence.
And this quote really hits the nail on the head. Social media turns every aspect of life, meals, vacations, and even rest, into curatorial labor. Digital spaces were supposed to connect us, right? But instead, they demand this constant, exhausting performance. Every single moment is optimized, observed, and judged. It just exacerbates these deep feelings of inadequacy and leaves young people with literally nowhere to truly rest.
The sheer scale of this mental health crisis is terrifying. Listen to these statistics. 94% of Gen Z experience monthly mental health struggles. 80% report regular loneliness. 73% feel digitally exhausted. Less than half, only 45%, feel they are actually thriving. And how do they cope? A staggering 24% engage in a practice called bed rotting, literally staying in bed for days at a time just to escape the unbearable mental strain of existence.
Now for Section 4, the future, AI, instability, and the absolute fear of what comes next. What comes next? When the traditional ladders of success have been pulled up and the present is defined by pure exhaustion, what exactly is Gen Z supposed to look forward to?
Well, this is what comes next. According to recent reporting, 41% of organizations plan to reduce their workforce by 2030 due to artificial intelligence and automation. The very entry-level jobs young people rely on to get a foothold in the economy, they're vanishing. This isn't just an economic crisis anymore. It's a profound crisis of meaning in a labor market that increasingly signals it simply doesn't need them.
15. That is the number of cigarettes a day you'd have to smoke to equal the physiological health risks of chronic loneliness. And remember, 80% of Gen Z reports feeling lonely. The fast turnover of precarious jobs, the lack of money to go out and socialize, the collapse of physical community spaces, it's all led to a state of social atomization that is literally destroying their health from the inside out. Which brings us to our final section, Awakening, why younger generations feel entirely emotionally disconnected.
So, why does all this matter? What should you actually take away from all this data? We are watching an entire generation slowly realize that the future they were promised, it just no longer exists. They aren't lazy, they aren't entitled, they are rationally responding to a completely broken social contract. When the fundamental systems of society, housing, education, labor, become mathematical traps rather than stepping stones, hopelessness isn't a failure of mindset, it's just an accurate assessment of reality. The question we have to leave you with today is this: what happens to a society when its youngest members decide the game is no longer worth playing?